as enemies. In one particular contest, Josh and Stel's crew defeated Ken's because they already had a GOAT status in the industry at the time. Ken accepted defeat gracefully and even asked to be trained by Josh, which actually surprised him because he thought Ken was a show-off.
Kinausap niya po ako eh. Sabi niya sa akin, Idol Josh, Idol Josh. Ganun tawag niya sa akin, Idol Josh. Pasali naman ako sa ano nyo. Pa-training naman ako sa grupo nyo. Kahit sa gilid lang ako.
But because of their distance, the training together never happened.
Humility.
Ken then went home to continue his studies.
Love it.
Fast forward to 2017, he received a message from Josh. It was an invite to audition for the 5th member spot.
That is the spirit of a real artist. You're not afraid to learn from somebody who has the same talents as you. That is, I think that is one of the factors that has contributed to him being successful. His humility. And of course, the rest of the boys as well. Hello ladies and gentlemen, those in between, welcome back to my channel. My name is Everett, and today we're going to be reacting to another SB19's video. Hey everyone, I hope you guys are having a great time wherever you are in the world right now. And if you're totally brand new to this channel, please do check out my other reaction videos. And if you like them, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button for closing out this video. Anyway, today we are going to be reacting to another Casual Chucks mini documentary about one of the members of SB19. And I'm talking about Ken or Philip. And I wanted to make a reaction video to this one last night, but unfortunately I was dog tired, and so I just told myself to just make a reaction video to this one the following day. And then when I checked the comment section earlier this morning, somebody wrote suggesting that I should check this one out, and to my mind it's sort of a confirmation of what I was planning to do. So recently my eyes have been fixed on Ken. I don't want to tell a lie. In my previous reaction videos, I had a tendency toward focusing on Ken most of the time. I mean, you guys know I love every one of them, but for some reason I was just fascinated by Ken's dance moves, his looks, his mysterious persona, aura. I mean, I just find them intriguing. But anyway, for today's video, we are going to be reacting to another Casual Chucks mini documentary, and the title of this is What Nobody Understands About Ken. So I'm not exactly sure what this mini documentary is all about, so we might as well find out together. So guys, I don't want to keep waiting for much longer. Without any further ado, let's get started. What nobody understands about Ken of SB19.
Sino ang pinaka-spoiled sa grupo?
Ito
Really?
Sino ang makakalimutan? Hindi mong patapos na, nagkamali pa siya. Bakit na dami Ken? Bakit si Ken? Bakit si Ken?
Please stop it.
What? Chuck the fanboy reactor.
Ken is, in my opinion, the most successful idol in P-pop history. Most fans see him as someone who's living the life most of us can only dream of. But in reality, there's a lot more going on behind all the glitz and glamour. So in today's video, we will reveal the challenges he had to go through just to get where he is today. From being a scrawny kid who only ate instant noodles on his birthdays to becoming the CEO of his own company. I know, Ken's story is like a definition of rags to riches. And the haters are not having it. He quickly became one of the most polarizing figures in the P-pop industry. But before we talk about all that, let's talk about his humble beginnings because it's straight up inspiring. It all started in Pagadian, Zamboanga del Sur. This is the countryside where Felipe John Suson was raised. His mom wanted to name him Kenji, but his grandpa Felipe insisted to name him Philip. He was the youngest
Excuse me.
member of a family that barely had anything financially.
Relatable.
They were very poor that instead of a cake on his birthday, all he gets is a plate of instant noodles. Life was so hard that having
Relatable.
fried chicken was heaven for him. So it
I love
quickly
that.
became his all-time favorite. Because of this, both of his parents had to go overseas to
Having
find
fried
better
chicken
paying
is like
jobs to
heaven.
support the education
Love
of
it.
Ken and his older sister. He had to be taken under the care of his grandparents. He then grew up in a church and his grandpa was the pastor. He was just a scrawny
What?
kid who likes
A
mathematics
pastor?
and discovered drawing as his first talent. So he went on to become an editorial cartoonist in school. Family gatherings in the
did?
Philippines
Wow.
always require a karaoke machine, and Kent's extended family wasn't a stranger to that. He used to hide during these occasions because he was always asked to sing. I was told by some sources that Ken had a very good singing voice as a kid but lost his confidence when puberty hit because it gave him an ultra deep voice which turned out to become one of his greatest assets in the future because of the dude named Pablo.
I never thought na may mga tao talaga makapag-appreciate ng voice ko. Kasi hindi ako ganoon ka confident sa voice ko kasi yung
Okay, hang on.
issue-
Let me pause the video because I'd like to say something real quick about Ken's voice. Yesterday, while I was editing out my reaction videos to other artists, I was actually listening to SB19's Tila Luha over and over again. I just couldn't help appreciating Ken's voice. Especially, he was the one who started off singing that song. I was actually trying to get familiar with each of their voices without looking at their faces, and I mean, there's just a lot of texture in Ken's voice that I just couldn't help appreciating it. And also, Josh's voice, well, a few of you guys in the comment section actually told me in the comment sections that that you guys felt a little bit bad about me not noticing him. Quite honestly, you have no idea. I watch Josh 10 moments a lot in my private time because I really love their chemistry. I know it's impossible for them to become a real couple in real life, but I just want to say that I really love the chemistry between Josh and Justin. But anyway, going back to Ken, his voice sounds really good. I don't know, there's just something about it that I find really unique. It's I mean, I can really feel the emotions in his voice. Stel can hit high notes, Pablo too can, but I don't know, there's just something about Ken's voice that kind of reminds me of Kyungto. Kyungto is one of the members of Mirror. I think the two of them have very similar texture in their voices. It sounds so beautiful. Okay, anyway, let's move on because the neighbor's dogs started
Bumabala,
to bark.
tapos malalim yung boss ko. Ngayon, parang naging na-appreciate ko na yung boss ko dahil may mga tao na ka-appreciate na.
It sounds good.
Anyway, his newfound love for music got him to learn his first musical instrument without anyone teaching him. So he
Guitar?
ended up becoming a southpaw guitarist, but later fixed it as he learned more. He was also active in sports, representing his school in regional tournaments. He played some table tennis and sepak takraw as a spiker. For those who don't know, this position requires exceptional skills to perform explosive jumps
Right,
to block and
right.
spike the ball. The teacher saw this as a potential that can translate into good dancing, so he was offered to join the dance club for better grades.
Wow.
He was hesitant at first, but when he tried, you all know what happened next. Watching his early clips feels like he was born to dance. He was even hired by his school to choreograph some dance routines. He then moved to Cagayan de Oro to study architecture in college. He became a member of the dance crews called Excite, GA7, and Amigo 7. These last two crews were so good, in fact, Ken had a crewmate named Joshua who went on to become a member of a successful international idol group in the future called Z-Boys. They were beating
Z-Boys?
everybody in the countryside, so there was no point in competing there anymore. It was time for the big leagues. They got invited to join major K-pop dance competitions, and this was the first time when Ken met other SB19 would-be members. Not as brothers, but as enemies. In one particular contest, Josh and Stel's crew defeated Ken's because they already had a GOAT status in the industry at the time. Ken accepted defeat gracefully and even asked to be trained by Josh, which actually surprised him because he thought Ken was a show-off.
Kinausap niya po ako eh. Sabi niya sa akin, Idol Josh. Ganun ang tawag niya sa akin, Idol Josh. Pasali naman ako sa ano nyo. Pa-training naman ako sa grupo nyo. Kahit sa gilid lang ako.
But because of their distance, the training together never happened.
Humility.
Ken then went home to continue his studies.
Love it.
Fast forward to 2017, he received a message from Josh. It was an invite to audition for the 5th member spot.
That is the spirit of a real artist. You're not afraid to learn from somebody who has the same talents as you. That is, I think that is one of the factors that has contributed to him being successful. His humility. And of course, the rest of the boys as well.
Out of SB19. But there's one problem. Ken had no money, so Josh was like, no problem, I'll take care of it. Ken then told his grandma about stopping
That's
school
not a
to pursue
problem.
it, and she was
No
very
worry.
hesitant because she thought it was a scam, and his parents overseas would have automatically said no. But Ken was so close to his grandma that he managed to convince her to go in secret. So our country boy took off to pursue his
hang on.
dreams.
I wonder whether their story, SB19's story, has already been featured on MMK or MPK. Maalaala mo kaya or magpakailanman. Has it already been featured? Because I wonder whether it already has been featured. But anyway, let's move on.
He had nothing with him except his phone,
Excuse me.
his clothes, and a 1,500 peso pocket money. This time when he arrived at the airport, there was no crew. It was all him. So imagine how that must have felt.
Risk taker.
Anyway, he took a taxi to SBT Talent Camp, and of course, the drivers scammed him. He had to pay 600
What?
pesos for a supposedly
Goodness
150
gracious.
peso trip. What a ripoff. Anyway, he finally met Josh and the boys and started training with them for a year while crashing into a distant relative's house to rest up. He slept on the floor, not with a comforter, but a banig. Because if he didn't, he would be homeless. Ken had no salary when he was still training, so he moonlighted as a small-time model to survive. Which is an experience that would play a big role in his future. The dude was literally fighting for his dreams every single day. So here comes 2018 when they finally debuted, and though it was a rocky start, they
Tila Lupa.
gradually progressed to become
really
the
love that
greatest
song.
P-pop group God has ever created. If you want to know more about their story as a group, check out the SB19 story series I made. Links down in the description. You can also join the highest tier of our channel's membership if you're interested to be credited as one of the executive producers. So how did Ken become the most polarizing P-pop idol?
How?
Like, how is he either obsessively loved by fans or obsessively hated by bashers? Well, he has this persona of a badass dude who doesn't give a shit. And if you
Yes.
combine that with one of the many accusations thrown
That's
at
what I
him,
love
then
about
they
him.
got
He
themselves
has
a
his
new
own
P-pop
world.
villain in the making. But there's one thing in common between all those issues. They lack evidence. There are a few exceptions though, but you can't say a person is arrogant just because he looks cool and badass. The dude is even a softie. He tends to cry in interviews and emotional moments. His awkwardness as a kid is still there, and this TikTok clip says it all.
Me and you and me, just us and your friend Steve. Do 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 Steve. Do do do
Looks serious most of the time.
Steve. Do 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 Steve. Do 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 Steve. Do 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 Steve. Do 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 Steve.
I've already said this, and I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this video agree with me that he has his own world. And among all of the interviews that I've seen, he tends to space out most of the time. And it's cute. I personally think it is cute.
Also, you can't just call a person lazy just because you've seen a few clips of him sleeping. I mean, isn't it a result of him working too hard?
Yes.
Being an idol
That's
and running
right.
your own clothing company at the
That's
same
right.
time is no joke. The dude only used to draw this aspiration, but now he made it happen. He managed to build a company that sold out merch in just minutes. It's insane. It's even rumored that his company is now worth more than $1 million.
So
Whether it's-
him being a cartoonist back when he was in high school, simply shows that he is artistically inclined. He is artistically inclined.
True or not, it put an even bigger target on his back. And haters started coming up with even more ridiculous claims. Like accusing him of copying 2 K-pop music videos just because they have a similar vibe. This was easily debunked though. If you want to check it out, I made a video about it, link down in the description. His main dancer position got also heavily criticized because of one single clip of him messing up on live TV. It was unfair in my opinion because Ken has always been consistent in his dance performances, yet the
Everybody makes
haters suddenly
mistakes.
forgot about how good he really is. Ken never fired back. Or did he?
Okay, look, everybody makes mistakes. Gosh, how could anyone make a big deal out of something trivial? When somebody makes mistakes or a mistake, just think of it. Just ask yourself, have you ever made a mistake at least once in your life? And if the answer is yes, then you can let go of someone else's mistake. It's a matter of self-reflection. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's move on. His voice, he goes.
So why does the poultry still exist and are still growing in numbers after all the bashing? Well, it's because he doesn't only have the alluring personality, but he also has the capability to back it up. Scratch
Absolutely.
that. Capabilities. What's crazy about Ken is
Capabilities.
that he has already
Plural
shown us
form
enough
of
talent, like his
capability.
exceptional dancing and singing, that is enough to fulfill a main vocal role.
Saan darating ang mga salita na nanggagaling
Kenton.
sa aming dalawa?
Kenton. Look at Justin. Sorry, Justin. We've got some Kenton moments here.
Na nanggagaling sa aming dalawa. Kung
Cutesy.
minsan ka,
Look at Justin's face.
wag naman sana. Ika'y bumabit na, di magkawala. Aking sinta, ikaw lang dahanan ay mundo.
Yet he still has a lot of secrets. I'm telling you, man, this guy is a living anime character.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Casual Chat.
Have you heard of an idol who is also a CEO?
No.
A dancer who is known for his aerial flips but never tells us that he can also breakdance. A singer who writes and co-produces his own songs. A musician that plays guitar, keyboard, drums, and can even beatbox. A fashion influencer. A man who plays sports like basketball, billiards, volleyball, badminton, table tennis, boxing, and sepak takraw with decent proficiency. A skater boy, an artist, a philanthropist, and most especially, a man of faith.
Wow.
I initially thought that the Superior Sound brand was all about him, but I was quickly proven wrong when I found this Bible verse underneath his Bulan CD, Hebrews 1:5-14. The entire passage is lengthy, but it all boils down to Christ being the superior of all beings.
Amen
I
to
mean,
that.
all of us have different religions. Some don't even have one. But I just respect people like him who stand firm behind their beliefs. As of today, Ken has established himself as an arguably the most successful P-pop idol and the richest among his co-members. And it's just the beginning. They're still on their way to introducing Filipino music to the world through the US as of the making of this video. And his group SB19 is the first one to ever do it. So what have we learned about Ken's story?
A lot.
For me, it was his persistence and willingness to
lot.
take risks.
I've
Have
learned
you
a
ever
lot.
noticed that sometimes it's your loved ones that said no to your aspirations? Because, they care about you. They don't want you to fail and all that.
Right.
Do you know how many people have had visions, ideas, and huge career moves that they were about to do, but they allowed the word no to stop them?
Correct.
For all I know,
That's right.
you might be one of those people. The difference with Ken is that
Mm-hmm.
he never gave the power to the word no.
Whoa,
It was his own
love
grandma
that.
who tried to stop him, but he continued. Yes, haters exist, but he didn't reject his own ideas just because they rejected his ideas. Haters hate because they feel small when your ideas start turning into reality.
Correct.
He once said in an interview that success
love
is the
that.
best revenge,
I love
so he
that.
stopped killing them with kindness.
Ah, look at that
This
face.
day,
Look at that smile.
Ken has been torturing them with success.
Love it. Beautiful. Okay, we'd just like to say something real quick about this video. Ken's life story is indeed inspiring. Super duper inspiring. It's about not giving up on what you dream of. It's also about staying humble despite the fact that you rise to the top. And I personally think that humility is a significant factor that contributes to one's success, and that's universal. That's something in general, arguably true. So guys, please let me know what you think of this video in the comment section below, because of course I would also love to hear your thoughts and opinions of this. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you like this video, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when the next video comes out. Saudi!